Welcome to another episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price of Academia.edu. Today we dive into the diverse world of sound, physics, and personal experience through the lens of a remarkable paper by Helen Hall titled Both Sides of the Mirror: Integrating Physics and Acoustics with Personal Experience, published in the Leonardo Music Journal. You know, there's just something about how academic research can open up entire perspectives that we might not think about in our day-to-day lives. Makes the world feel a bit more expansive, doesn't it? Anyway, back to the paper. Helen Hall, a composer who straddled the intersection between the cerebral world of physics and the more abstract realm of acoustic art, craftily weaves these domains through her personal experiences. Honestly, it's like peering at a kaleidoscope of interdisciplinary insights. But what's the core goal she's tackling, you ask? Well, she wants to integrate her knowledge of physics and acoustics with her subjective explorations as an artist, specifically seeking to blend the objective and the subjective. I'm here to share the paper neutrally, mind you, not to champion its perspectives. So, why is this significant? Well, Hall points to the beauty of systems theory, which she thinks can unite disparate elements like atoms and ecosystems. Whole systems make more sense when you acknowledge their interconnectedness. That's basically the gist of it. By integrating frameworks from physics to linguistics, she believes musical composition taps into untouched depths. Fascinating, right? I mean, it's like academic tape holding together all the pieces of an otherwise chaotic puzzle, digging into the nitty-gritty. Hall reflects on the explosion of research and tech evolution in the 1980s, which actually sparked her interest in interdisciplinary thinking. She talks about how music should be more than sound. It should harness the potential physics brings to the table, a perspective she credits John Cage with influencing. Cage's thought that music is simply organized sound. Hall took this idea and ran with the possibilities, melding temperament systems introduced by Walter Branchy with computer music, though Helen expresses her concerns, questioning the richness of digital sound compared to acoustic forms, limitations imposed by technology's physical nature, and her environmental hypersensitivity takes center stage here, a spontaneously rising challenge, a plot twist, so to speak. And then we get to some of her works. Take Winter Trees, for instance. It weaves Sylvia Plath's poetry with a cappella voices and instruments. Helen delved into how vowels from the poem orchestrate her music. She plays with interference patterns where voices integrate with instruments. No vibrato here, folks. She constructs an evolution from spectral strands into ever-shifting vocal phrasings. Kind of trippy, honestly. How does that resonate with you? Anyone else slightly fascinated by how Plath's text guides this musical journey? It reminds me of, never mind, let's move on. Then there's Of Radiant Streams, influenced by night vision, so 14, Stars in the Eyes. This piece digs into the nature of rhythm and tempo. What Hall cleverly explores is this idea of streaming, where tones at rapid tempos create isolated auditory streams or frequencies, very much like splintering reality through perceived rhythms, just like the painting's microscopic acrylic dots. It's mesmerizing to think about, right? Now, circling back to the practical applications, what insights does this hold for you, the listener, if nothing else? It's an invitation to evaluate how systems thinking applies to your own life, whether it's in solving complex problems or understanding the symphony of experiences we all partake in. Helen's paper doesn't assert absolute truths, mind you. It offers a different lens, a reflective mirror, if you will, to examine one's surroundings and relationships with science and art. As the episode draws to a close, let me extend this thought. Whether you're vibing to Hall's interdisciplinary dance between physics and art, or you're just dipping your toes into scientific waters, there's much to glean from her research. It's a call to embrace complexity and see connections where we see boundaries. Because isn't there something inherently beautiful in challenging conventions and sparking curiosity? Well, we've covered a lot today. Keep that curiosity stoked and shining bright. I'm Richard Price. Catch you next time on In Depth with Academia. Be sure to review Helen Hall's full paper if you're itching for more detailed content. All right, until next time.